जस हिंदी के सारे व्यूअर्स को नमस्कार। आपका प्रोग्राम स्ट्रेट टॉक में स्वागत करते हैं। आज हमारी टीम पहुंची है न्यूयॉर्क सिटी में इंडियन काउंसलेट की महान बिल्डिंग में। जिस तरह आप देख सकते हैं, ये जो अपर ईस्ट साइड की मैंशन है, ये इंडियन डिप्लोमेसी का न्यूयॉर्क सिटी में हब रही है कितने सालों से। बट आज जब हम करंट काउंसल जनरल रणधीर जायसवाल जी से बात करेंगे, हम उन पुराने दिनों की नहीं बट मॉडर्न चीज़ों की अपडेट्स लेंगे। जो काम इस काउंसलेट में, जो फैसिलिटीज़ एंड जो डिफरेंट प्रोग्राम्स प्रोवाइड किए जा रहे हैं यहाँ की कम्युनिटी के लिए, इंडियन अमेरिकन्स के लिए एंड ख़ास करके उन इंडियंस के लिए जिनकी रिलेशनशिप इंडिया एंड यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स की तरह इस कंट्री के साथ बुलंद है। सो इस स्पेशल प्रोग्राम में एक बारी फिर काउंसल जनरल रणधीर जायसवाल जी, जो कि करंट काउंसल जनरल इस न्यूयॉर्क सिटी की काउंसलेट में बैठते हैं, उनसे बात करेंगे। डिफरेंट अपडेट्स भावें वो ट्रैवल रिलेटेड हो या स्टूडेंट्स एंड वीज़ा रिलेटेड, पासपोर्ट रिलेटेड, सारी चीज़ों की जानकारी इस स्पेशल प्रोग्राम में आपके साथ शेयर करेंगे। एंड वंस अगेन हमारी टीम पहुंची है न्यूयॉर्क सिटी की इंडियन काउंसलेट में। आप इसी तरह हमारे साथ जुड़े रहें। एक छोटी सी ब्रेक के बाद हमें ज्वाइन करें काउंसल जनरल रणधीर जायसवाल। जस हिंदी टीवी के सारे व्यूअर्स को एक बार फिर प्रोग्राम स्ट्रेट टॉक में स्वागत करते हैं। जिस तरह आपको पता है, हम आज बहुत ही स्पेशल आपके लिए प्रोग्राम लेके हाजिर हुए हैं न्यूयॉर्क सिटी की अपर ईस्ट साइड लोकेशन से। यहाँ के न्यूयॉर्क सिटी काउंसलेट से ये प्रोग्राम आपके साथ पेश कर रहे हैं। एंड आज के हमारे शाम के खास गेस्ट काउंसल जनरल रणधीर जायसवाल जी। फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल काउंसल जनरल, इट्स सो गुड टू बी हियर। थैंक यू सो मच कि आपने हमारे लिए, हमारे दर्शकों के लिए अपने बिजी स्केड्यूल में से थोड़ा सा टाइम निकाला। एंड वेलकम टू न्यूयॉर्क सिटी, वेलकम टू द काउंसिल। कुछ महीने हो गए हैं बट इट्स ग्रेट टू हैव अ न्यू फेस इन द रोल। सबसे पहले काउंसल जनरल जायसवाल, हाउ इज़ द न्यूयॉर्क सिटी community treating you? आप काफ़ी अब महीनों से कम्युनिटी के साथ इन्वॉल्व है। You guys have done as many programs as possible. क्या आपको एक्सपीरियंस यहाँ महसूस हो रहा है?
तो सबसे पहले मैं आपका धन्यवाद करूँ जस हिंदी पे मुझे बुलाने के लिए, और आपके माध्यम से जो हमारे यहाँ समुदाय के लोग हैं, हमारे इंडियन कम्युनिटी के लोग हैं, हमारे अपने लोग हैं, उनको मैं नमस्कार बोलना चाहता हूँ, नए साल की शुभकामनाएं देना चाहता हूँ। कोविड का ज़माना है तो थोड़ा बच के हम लोग काम कर रहे हैं। लोगों से मिलना जुलना हुआ है, मेरे 1.5 साल हो गए। तो इन अ सेंस आई हैव ऑलमोस्ट डन half of my tenure here, but in these 18 months or so that I have been here, though impacted by COVID, we have been able to reach out to people, meet them, have conversation with Indian organizations, Indian American organizations, celebrate all sorts of fairs, festivals, Vaisakhi, Holi, Diwali with them, and to learn from them, get their feedback on our services, get their feedback as to how we can enhance their connect better with India in the economic field, in the cultural field, in various other ways. So overall it has been a very engaging year or so in spite of the pandemic. So that is how, and I have received a lot of warmth, a lot of love and affection and friendship from our people.
Of course.
And we really value that.
Of course. CG Jaiswal, if nothing else, the New York City Indian American community is robust, thriving. They're very well established. And they certainly love participating in the programs जो उनको culturally अपनी roots के साथ जोड़ के रखते हैं. So it's great to hear that programs अभी जारी हैं and और programs हम expect कर सकते हैं as hopefully things get better with the COVID situation. CG जायसवाल, आपकी कुछ जो आपने कहा आपको feedback काफ़ी मिल रहा है, लोग आपको काफ़ी open arms के साथ पिछले 1.5 साल से receive कर रहे हैं. So tell us a little bit about the feedback you're receiving. खास करके यहाँ पे जो ट्राई स्टेट एरिया की कंस्टिट्यूंसी आपके साथ डायरेक्टली कनेक्टेड है, उनसे आपको ज़्यादातर किन चीज़ों के बारे में क्वेरीज या कमेंट्स सुनने को मिल रहे हैं?
So, it is what natural. People have asked many questions on COVID situation all along, how things are going in India, what is the rate of vaccination, how is the economy coping up, what are the new programs. In this budget which was announced 1st of February, we have a new provision for e-passports. So we'll have a passport now in India with chip inside, which will, in my understanding, make things easier for them, make working and the processing that we do for these documents much easier, and also bring things in consonance with the digital world that we live in. Let me tell your viewers that as of today, 80% of eligible population in India is vaccinated. That is huge. Those are huge numbers. We have administered upwards of 1.7 billion doses. So hopefully we'll have a much higher number soon, and that is bringing a lot of comfort in India. Also with the Omicron. Omicron was very mild in India so far, and it seems that we are turning the corner. Even though this is a pandemic, we cannot let our guard down. But there is hope, there is optimism, and things are brightening up.
जी, we certainly hope so. आपके मुंह में घी शक्कर, things are brightening up. We all certainly need to hear this news more. CG Jaiswal, COVID को लेके खास करके आपने ये passports की announcement हमारे साथ share की. I'm glad to hear that, and I have some questions because हमारे भी viewers COVID and travel related questions बहुत हमारे पास लेके आते हैं, and have some questions for you as well in that regard. We'll certainly get to that. CG Jaiswal, in your time here, some of the things जो इस embassy में ज़्यादातर होती हैं that involves travel related stuff. Other than that, is there any other programs, खास करके आपके tenure में, जिनके बारे में, that you're especially proud that you want to share with viewers that you've got to kind of work on or share with the community in the past year and a half?
Well, this year is India's 75th year of independence. And for that reason, it is a signature year for us. We would like to have maximum support from the community, their participation, their support in making this Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav that we are celebrating a big success. पिछले साल से हम लोग मना रहे हैं इसको. बहुत सारे इवेंट्स हमने किए पिछले साल दिसंबर के महीने में हमने एक आइकॉनिक वीक भी किया, जिसमें डांस था, म्यूज़िक था, भाषा था. तमिल भाषा के ऊपर हमने एक सेशन किया, योगा को, मेडिटेशन को, म्यूज़िक को. We also had sessions on Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. He studied in New York. So remembering him in New York, remembering him in the context of India's freedom struggle becomes very important. So we had a lot of conversations and a lot of celebrations, and a lot of people participated. Of course, physically we were a little constrained, but the digital technology allowed us to reach far and wide. We will have several events now coming up as part of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav on 14th February, which happens to be Valentine's Day. It is special. On that day, in this consulate, in this very hall, Mr. Vikas Khanna, who's very well known, chef, he is launching his brand of perfume. And the important thing about this perfume is that it is made in India. It is a make in India product for the world. And because he belongs to the world of cuisines and the world of spices and aromas, this perfume is very special because it has certain spices in it. Also, many of your viewers would know that Kannauj, which happens to be in Uttar Pradesh, it is old seat of kingdoms. At the same time, it is a place which is known traditionally for itar, for people working with rose, people working with all sorts of essence, and people working with perfumes. So this particular product is a special product, and we are going to invite you to cover it because our people here are going to love it and they're going to buy it for themselves.
I think it's wonderful to bring that sense back. I mean, यहाँ पे हम अमेरिका में रहते हैं, there is such a strong sense of, the pride in an American-made product. And sometimes we miss that on the made in India products, but it's great to see कि Consulate की तरफ से खास करके this kind of product will get such a recognition. यहाँ पे हम एक छोटी सी ब्रेक के लिए रुक रहे हैं. पहुँचे हैं न्यूयॉर्क सिटी की काउंसलेट में एंड सीजी रणधीर जायसवाल जी के साथ कुछ कॉन्वर्सेशंस हो रही हैं। एक छोटी सी ब्रेक के बाद कन्वर्सेशन जारी रहेगी। We'll see you on the other side. वेलकम बैक फ्रॉम द ब्रेक। आप देख रहे हैं स्ट्रेट टॉक एंड हमारी टीम आज पहुंची है न्यूयॉर्क सिटी में इंडियन काउंसलेट में। रणधीर जायसवाल जी, द करंट सीजी, हमें थोड़ा सा अपना टाइम दे रहे हैं। वंस अगैन काउंसल जनरल रणधीर जायसवाल जी, वेलकम बैक टू द प्रोग्राम। इट्स सो गुड टू हैव यू। सीजी जायसवाल, आपने थोड़ा सा हमें अपनी टेन्योर के बारे में बताया। क्या आपका एक्सपीरियंस रहा यहाँ की इंडियन अमेरिकन पॉपुलेशन के साथ? जो इस टाइम इंडिया सेलिब्रेट कर रहा है अपनी इंडिपेंडेंस 75 इयर्स अमृत महोत्सव, इसको लेके जो फ्रीडम स्ट्रगल है एंड ख़ास करके जो फ्रीडम स्ट्रगल के हीरोज़ रहे हैं, उनकी अक्सर बात होती है। इसको लेके आप बहुत स्ट्रांगली भी फील करते हैं। यू एक्सपीरियंसिंग समथिंग्स, आई लव टू हियर फ्रॉम यू। आपका क्या एक्सपीरियंस रहा है यहाँ पे, ख़ास करके जब इंडिया की इंडिपेंडेंस मूवमेंट की बात उठती है?
So, as part of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, we have been celebrating our freedom, celebrating our freedom fighters and all the tall politicians, leaders who have sacrificed their life for the country. On 23rd January, we celebrated 125 years of Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose, a great leader, a great freedom fighter. We also on 30th January, we remembered Mahatma Gandhi, father of our nation, on his Punyatithi, on his death anniversary. It's important that we be guided by the legacy and life and teachings, their sacrifice of our leaders. And they are not just people who did or who influenced just India. They have influenced young people, old people across the world. Their ideas are deeply rooted in values that are cherished by democracies, by countries, by communities and societies across the world. Values of compassion, of kindness, of humanity, of togetherness, of brotherhood, of fraternity, of respect for all, respect for cultures, pluralism, diversity. So it's important that we celebrate Mahatma Gandhi today. We celebrate all of freedom fighters today and always. People may have some other opinion about them, etc. But it is important that we give due respect to them, and that's how we must care about their legacy. It's very important. It's important for our future. Based on their ideas, the world is moving forward. How else will you solve the climate change problem, for example? Mahatma Gandhi was a very staunch environmentalist. We need his ideas today to come to be imbibed by the youth of today. Otherwise, how else do you develop a very strong sense of belongingness to our nature around us, to the environment that we live in, to the rivers that we grow by the side of? So for all these reasons, and today's, especially in the kind of social tensions that you have here in this country, in other countries around the world, it's very important if you want to deal with hate crimes, you want to deal with social tensions, that you listen to such voices, listen to these leaders and such leaders from across the world. Leaders from the United States, for example, people who've talked of togetherness is very important. And for that reason, I think we must cherish their legacy and their life.
CG Jaiswal, you've mentioned, freedom movements across the world, social justice movements, right? In the United States, one of the fathers of such a movement, Martin Luther King Jr., jinka naam, is scattered across the pages of history in this country. Even he looked to Mahatma Gandhi ji for inspiration. So certainly, there is a long history here when it comes to social change and civic justice that शायद कहीं ना कहीं lost थोड़ा सा हो गया, but it's good to see that as part of the celebration, खास करके इस साल एक बार फिर उस चीज़ को याद किया जा रहा है, regardless of any detractors. When people think of India, खास करके चाहे वो freedom fighters हों, चाहे वो इंडिया की जर्नी हो, contemporary times में इंडिया को लोग एक ऐसी जगह सोचते हैं जहाँ पे वो शायद विज़िट करना चाहें. You know, a bucket list country. You know, tourism is a huge, you know, drawing point for India, and folks from all walks of life, all over the world, dream and plan to go to the country. And अपने Indians भी जो यहाँ रहते हैं, American Indians, they also look कि कोई you know wedding season होगा, हम इंडिया जाएंगे या family को मिलने या बच्चों को दिखाने where they come from, क्या उनकी रूट्स हैं, राइट. ख़ास करके इस साल टूरिज़म को लेके इन लाइट ऑफ कोविड, आई थिंक यू आर राइट, वी आर सर्टनली टर्निंग अ कॉर्नर. 2 साल हो गए, बहुत हो गया. होपफुली वी कैन you know get past this pandemic. But from a tourism perspective, tell us a little bit more. Folks that are looking to travel to India, ख़ास करके NRIs and non-citizens of India, whether they're Indian Americans or otherwise, because there's a lot of mixed families, a lot of families want to bring their friends that are not Indian. उनके लिए Consulate की तरफ से आप क्या information share कर सकते हैं regarding this upcoming travel season?
Wonderful. So first of all, you know, we talked of tourism. On 25th January, we celebrated National Tourism Day. We had a webinar with experts from India on forts of India. That is another very special aspect of India. You have forts in Rajasthan, you have forts in Maharashtra, all along the coastlines, and beautiful forts. And if you go to these forts in different seasons, they have a different charm about themselves. So all your travelers, I would urge them to look at what sort of fort tourism they can do in India when they are there next time. Very beautiful, and especially monsoon time, the forts all along in Maharashtra, all along the coast, are very beautiful with the green hue that they or the जो उनके ऊपर एक चादर चढ़ जाता है, उससे बड़ा बहुत, it's very beautiful. So that in itself is a beautiful experience. On travel, we are open to tourism. We are giving visas for a month, 30 days tourist visas to people, and for those 30-day tourism plans or tourist visa, travelers need not come to us. They can go to the e-visa site and apply for it. And let me tell you, first 500,000 visas are free of cost. So, you know, in a sense, all the people who are planning to travel to India, you are more than welcome to take e-visa, 30 days validity right now. Hopefully, you know, if the pandemic recedes, we can open it up more. But we also have to be cautious. We are mindful that a lot of people would be traveling to India now. Holi is coming up, Vaisakhi is coming up, and also people have been, you know, there are very strong people-to-people connect between here and India. People have to go and see their family, their parents. It has not happened in the last 2 years. There are some requirements, you know, that you have to have RT-PCR negative test, so 72 hours, taken 72 hours before travel. Also, you have to upload your details on Air Suvidha portal before you fly, and there is this restriction right now of quarantine, home quarantine for 7 days. But it is home quarantine. It is if you want to go and see your parents, you want to go and see your family, you can be at home and you are perfectly fine. But visas, to tell your viewers, right now 30 days tourist visa is being given, and you need not come to us. You can take it sitting in your drawing room, applying through your computer. The visa comes in your email. And 500,000 visas are free.
Wow. Wow, I think that's really quite the incentive, and I think the ease of the whole process is something that everyone should be excited about, especially if you're looking to travel in the upcoming season. So 30 days visa for tourism. I kind of want to talk to you about some longer travels, right? Khas karke wedding season aa raha hai. A lot of young couples have postponed their weddings over the last 2 years. They're thinking ki India mein jaake hum wahan kare family ke saath. That is a big Indian wedding. Kafi logon ka dream hota hai. So we'll talk a little bit more about tourism and upcoming programs जो यहाँ पे न्यूयॉर्क सिटी इंडियन काउंसलेट आपके लिए लेके आ रही है आने वाले महीनों में. एक छोटी सी ब्रेक के उस पार. Welcome back to Straight Talk. हम पहुँचे हैं काउंसलेट न्यूयॉर्क सिटी में एंड हमारे साथ गेस्ट आज शाम के इस स्पेशल प्रोग्राम में हमें ज्वाइन कर रहे हैं काउंसल जनरल रणधीर जायसवाल जी। काउंसल जनरल जायसवाल, यू नो देयर सो मेनी अपडेट्स, खास करके जो डे टू डे ऑपरेशंस होते हैं। आपने हमें जो एक मैं कहूँगी बिग चंक है इस एम्बेसी का डे टू डे वर्क, दैट इज़ पासपोर्ट्स, दैट्स फैसिलिटेटिंग ट्रैवल बैक टू इंडिया उन इंडिविजुअल्स के लिए, चाहे वो टूरिज़म के लिए जाएँ, किसी पर्सनल रीज़न के लिए। बट आप मेरे साथ एक बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट इंफॉर्मेशन शेयर कर रहे थे कि ये जो ट्रैवल एग्जेम्पशंस हैं या फैसिलिटेशंस हैं, ये सिर्फ टूरिज़म तक नहीं रुकती। देयर आर several areas जहाँ पे ये अप्लाई होती है। सबसे पहले तो प्लीज़ सर आप हमें इन एरियाज़ के बारे में बताएं।
So, you know, what is suspended right now is the long-term tourist visas that we issue to people. A lot of people actually go to the airport and realize that that particular visa is not valid, and they come to us and we give them a visa. But this information we've been sharing through our website, through Jus Hindi, Jus Punjabi and other channels, and in our several consular camps that we do. Otherwise also, that the long-term visa stands suspended. We have encouraged a lot of people to come forward and do their OCI. We've seen a significant jump in OCI so that you are free to travel whenever you want. Apart from tourist visa, 30-day tourist visa that we just talked about, we are also giving other visas are fine. You know, a lot of business visas are being issued, employment visas, people who are working in India, journalist visa, sports visa, other categories of visa. And in addition, if people have to meet some family emergency, if they have to meet some contingency in India at a short notice, we issue them emergency visa as well. So, and for emergency visa, we are open here Saturday, Sunday, but emergency visas can also be applied through VFS. We are right now accepting all applications, visa applications through VFS. And we were talking to you earlier, this consulate remains open 7 days a week. You know, on the day on Saturday when we had that big storm, that day also we had people who were in trouble, people who were in emergency, and we ensured that we serviced them so that they could fly to India and they could take care of their needs. So, you know, we are committed, as I told you, we are dedicated, and possibly among the very few consulates worldwide across countries which is open 7 days a week, and this is what I want to convey to the community. We are there to serve you, and we are doing our best, and we seek your support and recognition.
जी, it's जैसे कहते हैं ना, New York City is a city that never sleeps, and this is the consulate that never stops working. CG Jaiswal, I'm glad you shared this very important information, खास करके you know, hours of operation, and जिन लोगों को कोई emergency need है वो यहाँ आ सकते हैं, they can seek counsel. In regards to those folks जो transition में है in terms of their immigration process with the United States, उनके भी बहुत सवाल उठते हैं कि क्या हम इंडिया जा सकते हैं while our applications are pending or being processed, especially अगर पासपोर्ट का कोई चक्कर है. So इन खास categories को लेके क्या information आप share कर सकते हैं sir?
So on our passport services, let me tell you that our pendency, the time that is taken at the consulate to service passports is 1 to 3 days. That is how fast we are, how efficient we are. Tatkal passports we try to deal the same day or the day following. There are in certain cases we cannot service them for reasons which are beyond our control, for which we need clearance and directions from India. But I would like to take this opportunity and use this occasion to reach out to all your viewers of Jus Hindi and Jus Punjabi that if you have lodged a status regularization application with US CIS under I-797C, and there are several categories in that. It could be B1, B2 regularization, it could be U visa, it could be VAWA petition, and several other categories that are there. We are ready to give you short validity passport for 5 years. A lot of people don't know this, and because of that, they are inconvenienced. Let me tell you that GOI, Government of India, has come with this policy that till such time you have lodged an application with the US CIS for regularization of a stay, to facilitate that stay, we are going to give you a passport. Wow. So our very humble request to all our community members that if you happen to be in this category, or if you are able to lodge your application with USCIS under I-797C. Please do not hesitate to apply to the consulate for a short validity passport and take this service free.
सर एक एरिया इसमें आता है जिसके अराउंड बहुत मिसकंसेप्शंस हैं, हम कह सकते हैं, गलत फहमियाँ हैं, असाइलम, राइट? एंड जो आप फैसिलिटी की बात करें, दैट इंक्लूड्स असाइलम एज वेल?
Yes, there are people, if you applied for regularization on that account as well, you are most welcome to come and take a short validity passport for us.
This is some big news, and of course Consul General Jaiswal ने पहले भी ये news हमारे साथ share की, but I'm glad कि एक बारी फिर we're able to convey this to viewers. Sir, another area that is big when it comes to immigration between these two great nations, India and the United States, of course, are students जो international student visa पे यहाँ आते हैं, पढ़ाई करने आते हैं. So obviously in the last couple of years there were some travel irregularities due to COVID, but as things normalize again from the educational institutions, we anticipate that there will be a higher influx of students coming from India to study in the United States. आपने कुछ programs already students के लिए organize किए हुए हैं consulate में, and I'm sure you have some more exciting news on that. For the students or the parents watching, any updates, sir?
So, we care for our students. We have a large number of Indian students who are studying here, not just in the northeast United States, but elsewhere. We have almost 200,000 Indian students here. Majority of them are into STEM subjects. This time around in September, the US Embassy issued some 55,000 visas. So we have 55,000 new students who are here. My understanding is that most of the students are back. Some of them would be coming back because most of the campuses are open. In September, along with GoPio, we had organized a student meet and greet to welcome them, to do some hand holding for them, and also to, for them to be mentored by seniors and professionals who are here, who themselves were students some time back. So that was a very special connect for us. We would like to engage with students more and more. We have ongoing education cooperation program, and we are in touch with Pace University, Rutgers, NYU, Columbia University, universities in Boston area, and on Holi, on Diwali, on several other functions and New Year's, we try to engage and do something special for them. And we want to strengthen our connect with the youth, because they are the ones who are aspiring for a 21st century India. They are doing amazing things when it comes to startups. They are doing amazing things when it comes to innovation. So they are showing us the world. Their consciousness of environment, for example, they are all very committed to climate change action. So these are some of the ideas that we must bring in our lives so that we can have a better planet for ourselves and a better life for all of us.
And I think the students, जैसे आपने कहा, the majority of them are in STEM. It's a matter of pride as well कि हम सोचते हैं हमारे Indians कहाँ तक पहुँचे हैं, whether they're CEOs of Google, Twitter, what have you, but they do start as students, right? So it's great to hear किस तरह की उनके लिए facilities यहाँ पे उनको available हैं. In closing, of course, I want to hear about the upcoming programs, because once again, we love the idea that things are opening up again, and we can do more and more of these programs in person as opposed to virtually. Virtual bhi ho jayenge, at least the culture doesn't stop. But sir, in closing, can you tell us what other programs the local community here can anticipate, and any other messages you have for our viewers?
So, well, we have on 21st February, which happens to be International Mother Language Day. That day we'll be celebrating Rajasthani language along with community members from that background from Rajasthan. As I told you, under a banner, under a theme of Ek Bharat Shresth Bharat, we have one India, stronger India. We want to celebrate all our languages and cultures. So first we did Tamil in the month of December, classical language from India and still being spoken by millions. Now we are doing Rajasthani language. In the month of April, when we celebrate Vaishakhi, we'll celebrate Punjabi language and the exuberance of Punjabi culture. We have several events coming up on children. So in collaboration with Culture Tree, which is a community organization, and with New York Public Library, we are doing a special program for our children. We are also planning to start now yoga classes and meditation classes in the consulate. It was there earlier, but it was closed because of COVID-19. But hopefully we'll continue with that. We are looking at organizing 2 events on the business, economic and technology side. One is on startups in the month of March, and one on renewable energy in the month of April. In these 2 areas, as you know, a lot is happening in India, and we want to bring all that is happening in India here to our community members and to our friends and partners in the United States. So a lot of programs in the offing, and hopefully we will count on your support.
We would be happy to cover all of these. And you know, ये जो सारी information Consul General जायसवाल ने आपके साथ शेयर की है, इसके बारे में अगर और कोई आपके पास questions या कोई भी concerns हो, आप जाके website को भी check कर सकते हैं. Sir, the website that folks can contact or learn more about these programs, can you please share that with us?
So I would urge people to take out little time. They ask us questions all the time, but all the questions are already answered on the website. So if you were to spend 10 minutes on looking for visa information or passport information, I know people's attention span has gone down, people don't like to read, but all the information is there on our website, indiainnewyork.gov.in. I repeat, www.indiainnewyork.gov.in. So please visit the website. The world awaits you, we await you, and we remain committed to doing our best. Please also join for all our events on our Facebook Live, because we broadcast all our events, and also on our Instagram and other social media handles, including the Twitter. So.
And once again, social media पे India in New York handle के under आप इस New York City Consulate के साथ connect कर सकते हैं. Such a pleasure talking with you as always, Consul General Jaiswal. We're so happy to see that your tenure is going well in some difficult times, I think, for us all. But certainly, यहाँ पे लगता नहीं है that it has negatively impacted the functions of this embassy, and we're glad to hear about that. Look forward to covering the upcoming events and sharing them with our viewers. Once again, thank you so much for your time. यहाँ पे हम program की conclusion करते हैं. Once again, अगर कोई भी questions हमारे लिए या इंडियन काउंसलेट जो कि न्यूयॉर्क सिटी में लोकेटेड है, काउंसल जनरल रणधीर जायसवाल या उनकी टीम के लिए आप कनेक्ट कर सकते हैं, या तो बॉटम पे लिखी हुई वेबसाइट के साथ, या आप हमें भी ईमेल कर सकते हैं info@justbroadcasting.com, aashmeeta@justbroadcasting.com. Have a good rest of your evening. Namaskar.